Hey there, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I'm the host of this show. So, we're here starting a new mini series. So, this series will go on Tuesdays. We've been doing mini series on Tuesdays for probably a year now. Basically, it's a kind of a combination thing. So, my subscriber friend Ben, he picks a topic, and we discussed how we're going to lay this out. And then he gives me a question. He'll ask me a question of a certain topic, and then I have to answer it. Pretty much that's what it is. So this episode and this series will be called Questions 2. I did do a series like this a while ago called Questions. We did, I think, 6 episodes. I don't know how many episodes we'll do this time. It'll probably be at least 6 anyways. So Questions 2 will start tonight, and the first question that Ben gave me to open this series is 10 songs that should have been the album opener. So I went through my collection and I picked out 10 albums that I always kind of figured, this opener wasn't quite what I liked, or there was another song on the album I always thought should have been at the front instead of so far back. So that's what I'm basically going to do tonight. So I've picked 10. I'm going to give you these in no particular order. I'm not ranking them or anything. I've just picked the 10 albums, and we'll give you the 10 albums in whatever order I happen to have here. So the first one out, without further ado, we will get right to it. The first one out is from David Bowie's Let's Dance album. So I'm kind of one of these people that think if you have an album with a title and you have a song on that album with that title, that song should be the opener. That's just the way I see it. So they've got Modern Love as an opener here. Not bad. They got Modern Love, China Girl, Let's Dance are the first 3 tracks. I like both Modern Love and China Girl, but to be honest with you, I think Let's Dance should be the opener for no other reason than it's the title track. I always feel that way, and I'm going to go with that here again today. David Bowie's Let's Dance should be Let's Dance. Next up, this is the untitled Whitesnake album, or as many call it, the 87 album. It's a solid album. I would call it a commercial kind of heavy metal album. Some people go as far as to call it hair metal. I don't really see it that way, but that's what a lot of people do. It's a good, solid album. Lots of really good stuff here. They opened it up with Crying in the Rain, which is a good song. But I think, for me, it would have been more gripping if they'd put Still of the Night, which I think is the best track, should have been right at the top. It's the hardest song. It's got the most balls. It's the most energy. Should have been the opening track on the album, in just my opinion. But there's a lot of really solid stuff on here, so you could have went with other songs too. And they did go with Crying in the Rain, which isn't a bad song. I just think Still of the Night is the better track. So Whitesnake's 87 album, we're going with Still of the Night. Next up is an album that I really like a lot, and always wondered why they went with the track they did to open it. It's not that it's a bad track. There's no bad tracks on this album, but it's not one of their big hits. Like, there's 3 or 4 big hits on this album. You'd think they would have put one of them at the top. But we're going to go back with the rule that I said at the beginning. This is Breakfast in America. There is a title called Breakfast in America. That should be the opener, or one of the big songs from the album. But I would, to be honest with you, I think they could have went with Goodbye Stranger too, which is quite a good song. But Gone Hollywood doesn't really make sense to open up with one of your weaker songs. But to me, I would have chose Breakfast in America to open Breakfast in America. Just call me strange, but that's the way I like it. The next one up comes from Peter Gabriel's Security album. So they open up this with Rhythm of the Heat, which I think is a good song, but to me it belongs somewhere in the middle of the album. I don't think it's you've got this monkey at the front, you've got these 2 monkey pictures at the back. The album is called Security. and yet they put the biggest track on the back half of the album, and to me it should be at the front. Shock the Monkey should be here, should be at the top of the deck here, and so we're going with Shock the Monkey here for security on Peter Gabriel's 4th album. Next up, I don't normally question Rush because I think Rush is really good at putting the track that should be at the front where it belongs. On this case, they put Animate at the top of this album, which is called Counterparts. I would put Cut to the Chase. It's the heaviest song, the most gripping, the one that everybody likes to hear. I would have put it right at the front of the album, and it would have been the #1 song opening this album. That's my choice. So next up, we've got from another Canadian band. This album goes back quite the distance. This is their debut album from 1973, Bachman Turner Overdrive. And they put the song Give Me Your Money Please, which I guess it did okay when it came out. There's a lot of better songs on this album. And for me, I would have put the song Stay Awake All Night. It's got a lot of energy. It's driven. The guitar riff is great. It's a bring it to the stage type of song, and I think it should have been the opener on this album. You've got Give Me Your Money Please, Hold Back the Water, and Blue Collar Man to start the album. Not the best start to the album. Maybe the reason why this album wasn't as big as it should have been. But Stay Awake All Night, definitely heavier track, should have been the opener on this album, in my opinion. Next up, so that's 6, right? Got 4 to go. Next up comes from the Kiss discography, and it's this album. It's Paul Stanley's solo album, which has grown on me over the years. It's easily my second favorite of their solo albums. It starts out with the song Tonight You Belong to Me, which is kind of it's almost like a ballad-like song. I never like ballads to open an album. That's no bigger a turnoff for me than a ballad opening an album. It's not that it's a full-on ballad. I don't think it is. It's just I wouldn't start an album with a ballad. That's just me. If I had the choice, they should have went with Love in Chains or Goodbye. I would have went with Love in Chains. Really heavy, beefy kind of track. A nice start, get people's blood flowing. Then if you want to throw in your ballad, you can do that. So I would have picked Love in Chains for the opening track on this album. Next up, another David Bowie album. I didn't realize I had chosen 2, but I did. So we've got Aladdin Sane, which is this album here. Again, we're going to go back to the same old thing that I always go back to. The title track should be the opening track. It's called Aladdin Sane. It's known as Aladdin Sane. Why would you have that as your second track? I'm not really sure. So that's the one I would go with, Aladdin Sane. Kind of the same as his Let's Dance album. Next up is a couple of heavy metal albums to finish this out. So you've got Black Sabbath, who I generally like the way they set their albums up. In most cases I do. This one's a little bit confusing to me. They go with Wheels of Confusion, which is kind of a strange opening, if you ask me, to an album. It's kind of like it is, Wheels of Confusion. I personally would have went either with Supernaut or Tomorrow's Dream. To be honest with you, I think Supernaut is a perfect opener for a Black Sabbath. It's beefy, it's heavy, got a lot of energy. Should have been the opening track here, in my opinion. This is Black Sabbath 4, Volume 4, if you want. Supernaut should have been the choice. The next one is also a heavy metal album. This one goes by the same rule that the David Bowie albums goes by. This is British Steel. Well, actually, it doesn't go by that rule, but close enough. British Steel, Judas Priest. Lots of good cider. They start out with Rapid Fire here, and then Metal Gods and Breaking the Law, which are all great songs. But obviously the big hit on this album is Living After Midnight. It has the raw energy, it has the pump to it, should be the opening track. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this album. I think this album is a little bit kind of soft by their standards, but that song, Living After Midnight, takes a lot of heat too from people who, just basically just don't like the song because it gets too much airplay. I get that. I sometimes get sick of songs like that too. But in this case, I think it is the best opener for this album, and so I would go with Living After Midnight instead of, what was it? Rapid Fire. That's what I would have chosen to open the album. So that's my choice for today. Those are the 10 songs that I think should open the albums. I'll give them to you back just in case you want to hear them again, in case you didn't get all that. This one should have been, this is, the album is British Steel. This should have been Living After Midnight. Black Sabbath's Volume 4, I believe, should have been Supernaut. Aladdin Sane, strangely enough, I think should be Aladdin Sane. Kiss's Paul Stanley solo album opens with a ballad, should have been Love in Chains, in my opinion. BTO opens up with Give Me Your Money Please, which is kind of one of the hits of the album, but I don't think it has the proper kind of bite to it, so I would have went with Stay Awake All Night as my opener. Rush opens up here with Animate, and I think they probably should have went with the big, heavy, riffy song, Cut to the Chase. Peter Gabriel, this is his Security album. They start out with a couple of slow ones with Rhythm of the Heat and San Jacinto. Probably should have came right in here with the one with the album cover and the album things on the back, which would have made more sense and should have come with Shock the Monkey. Supertramp came out with Gone Hollywood. Not a bad track, but should have went with their title track, Breakfast in America. That makes the sense to me. Next up is Whitesnake's 87 album. Came out with Crying in the Rain, which is okay, but kind of, I always think of this song as being a little bit shallow, a little bit too mustardy, or whatever you want to call it, commercial sounding. I would have went with Still of the Night, which I think is the bombastic track on the album. And last but not least, Let's Dance, Call Me Strange, but I would have opened with the title track, Let's Dance, instead of Modern Love. But that's it. That's it for today. 10 songs, 10 opening tracks. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you want, you can make comments on any of the 10 albums I've talked to, or any of the 10 tracks that I chose, or you can just put some of your own down there. That would be interesting. I'd like to hear what other people's takes are on other albums. So take care, have yourself a good evening, and goodbye here from the Prog Monster.